our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At Jwwilliams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor and president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcements for the Jwwilliams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Miss Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that today may be brighter after listening to our program. The family of Mother Mattie Pearl Jenwright Daniel of Araby, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Charlie May Holt Colson of Americus, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. Mother Mattie Pearl Jenwright Daniel, age 98, of 178 3rd Street, Araby, Georgia, died Sunday, November 9th, at the Cordial Health and Rehabilitation Center in Cordial, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Mattie Pearl Jenwright Daniel, age 98, was held on Saturday, November 15th, in the sanctuary of her beloved Little Rock Baptist Church in Araby, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Joseph Green, delivered the eulogy. Dr. Dwayne Daniels, pastor of the Beulah Baptist Church, officiated. The burial followed at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordial, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted son, Mr. Benjamin Jenwright, and his wife, Mrs. Verdell Jenwright of Cordial, Georgia. 4 beloved grandchildren, Mr. Rodney Jones of Cordial, Georgia, Miss Laquita Jenwright of Ashburn, Georgia, Mr. Tobias Jenwright Sr. and his wife, Mrs. Zanae Jenwright, and Miss Shaquila Killings of Warner Robins, Georgia. 8 great-grandchildren, 4 great-great-grandchildren, her beloved godchildren, Miss Maletta Guest and Mr. David Nance of Cordial, Georgia. A beloved sister-in-law, Mother Adeline Lofton of Araby, Georgia. 2 caring nephews, Deacon Johnny L. Jenwright Sr. and his wife, Mrs. Jeanette Jenwright of Tifton, Georgia, and Mr. Carlton Lofton of Dallas, Texas. Her loving nieces, Miss Vivian Jenwright Carter and Miss Linda Jenwright Pettifor of Tifton, Georgia, and Miss Ella Mae Williams of Tampa, Florida, and Miss Ola B. Lofton of Araby, Georgia. A host of other nieces, nephews, cousins, her beloved church family, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive Mother Mattie Pearl Jenwright Daniel, age 98, 178 3rd Street, Arabi, Georgia. Mrs. Charlie May Holt Colson, age 69, 496 Lamar Road, Americus, Georgia, died Tuesday, November 11th, at the Summer Hill Rehabilitation and Senior Living in Perry, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Charlie May Holt Colson, age 69, was held on Saturday, November 15th, in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend George Muntz, pastor of the Whole Truth International Ministry, officiated. Her beloved daughter, Elder Pamela M. Harvey, delivered the eulogy. The burial followed at the Bethel Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and supportive daughters, Elder Pamela M. Harvey and Mrs. Kimberly M. Barrett and her husband, Mr. Eric Barrett. 3 bonus daughters, Miss Tanya Sparks and her husband, Mr. Bubba Sparks, and Miss Martacia Hoggebrook and her husband, Deacon Michael Hoggebrook. Miss Katrina Colson and her husband, Mr. Kenny Colson. Her beloved grandchildren, Mr. Ladarius Merritt and Mr. Matt Derrick Gibson, Miss Kiana Walker, Mrs. Keystone Harvey, Miss Keon Harvey, Miss Taisha Alexander, Mrs. Shakuri Sanders, Mr. DeJoy Colson, Mr. Duran Brown, and Mrs. Zakiya Colson. 5 beloved great-grandchildren, 3 beloved sisters, Evangelist Livonia Lockett and her husband, Mr. Raymond Lockett, Mrs. Gussie Franklin and her husband, Mr. Richard Franklin, and Mrs. Caroline Pittman and her husband, Mr. Eric Pittman. 2 devoted brothers, the Reverend Charles Holt and his wife, Mrs. Daphne Holt, and Mr. George Holt and his wife, Mrs. Patricia Holt. 3 sisters-in-law, Mother Vanessa Colson, Mrs. Brenda Frederick and her husband, Deacon Greg Frederick, and Miss Ruby Colson, all of Cordele, Georgia. Her loving aunt, Mother Melan Holt Hawkins of Americus, Georgia. A beloved uncle, Mr. James Carter of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A host of beloved cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive Mrs. Charlie May Holt Colson, age 69, 496 Lamar Road, Americus, Georgia. Again, the family of Mother Mattie Pearl Jenwright Daniel of Arabi, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Charlie May Holt Colson of Americus, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you is their prayer. The Jwwilliams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna were in charge of each of these arrangements during the past week.
Contact the competent, capable, and individual staff at the Jwwilliams
And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcements. Lakeisha Ford, age 42, 176 Williams Lake Road, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, November 10th, at a residence in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and caring fiance, Mr. Charles Bradley of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved sisters, Mrs. Brenda Faye Parks and her husband, Mr. Christian Park of Branson, Missouri. Mrs. Miranda Woodall and her husband, Mr. John Woodall. And Mrs. Christy Toots and her husband, Mr. Keith Toots, both of Cordele, Georgia. Her beloved brothers, Mr. George Ford and his wife, Mrs. Deborah Ford, and Mr. Wayne Ford and his wife, Mrs. Lonnie Ford of Ashburn, Georgia. The Reverend William G. Ford of Perry, Georgia. Mr. Isaac Ford and his wife, Mrs. Connie Ford of Bree, California. Mr. Timothy Ford of Albany, Georgia. Mr. Joseph Ford and his wife, Mrs. Tanya Ford. Mr. Nathan Ford and Mr. Keith Ford and his wife, Mrs. Amanda Ford, all of Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Christopher Ford and his wife, Mrs. Latasha Ford of Valdosta, Georgia. Her beloved aunts and uncles, Mrs. Mary Pounds, Miss Rosa Ford, Miss Mary Nance, Mr. David Williams and his wife, Mrs. Dorothy Williams, and Mr. Willie James Johnson, all of Cordele, Georgia. Mrs. Margaret Edwards of Jacksonville, Florida, and Mrs. Ethel Atkins of Araby, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive Miss Lakeisha Ford, age 42, 176 Williams Lake Road, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Lakeisha Ford, age 42, will be held today, Sunday, November 16, at 11 a.m., graveside at the Mount Olive Baptist Church Cemetery in Warwick, Georgia. Her beloved brother, the Reverend William G. Ford, will officiate. United States Army veteran, Mr. Walter James Hollis, age 76, 165 Lexington Circle, Americus, Georgia, died Monday, November 10th, 2025, at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted wife, Mrs. Ramona Larimore Hollis of Americus, Georgia. His beloved children, Mr. James Earl White and his wife, Mrs. Latoya White of Athens, Georgia. Mr. Travis D. Hollis, Mr. Michael P. Ellis, and Mr. Roderick Ellis, all of Americus, Georgia. 8 beloved grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, a beloved sister, Miss Jacqueline H. Slappy of Plains, Georgia. His beloved brothers, Mr. Owen T. Hollis and his wife, Mrs. Lottie Hollis of Columbus, Georgia. Mr. Carlton Hollis and his wife, Mrs. Deborah Hollis of Albany, Georgia. Lieutenant Colonel retired Blake E. Hollis and his wife, Mrs. Deborah Hollis of McDonald, Georgia. A beloved uncle, Elder Johnny Raven of Americus, Georgia. His beloved aunt, Mrs. Gloria Walker of Americus, Georgia. His sisters-in-law, Mrs. Cynthia Allen and her husband, Mr. Jerry Allen, and Mrs. McQueen Hollister and her husband, Mr. Lawrence Hollister of Americus, Georgia. His brother-in-law, Mr. Eric Larimore, and his wife is his daddy, Larimore of Lithonia, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. United States Army veteran, Mr. Walter James Hollis, age 76, 165 Lexington Circle, Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for United States Army veteran Mr. Walter James Hollis, age 76, will be held on Monday, November 17th at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary of the St. John AME Church in Plains, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Shirley Straughter, will officiate. The burial with military honors will follow at the Andersonville National Cemetery in Andersonville, Georgia. The public visitation will be held today from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mr. Thomas Allen Jones, age 73, 1506 East 16th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, November 3rd at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted son, Minister LeVar Jones of Atlanta, Georgia, his beloved and caring sibling, Mr. Bobby Jones, and his wife, the Reverend Dorothy Jones, Mrs. Lucy Trice, and her husband, Mr. James Trice of Cordele, Georgia, Mrs. Betty Daniels, and her husband, Deacon Alonzo Daniels of Lilly, Georgia, Mr. Rochester Jones of Marlin, New Jersey, Mrs. Evelyn Applin and her husband, Sir Gary Applin, Miss Sandra Jones, Mrs. Barbara Hoggebrook and her husband, Deacon Freddie Hoggebrook, Mr. Charles Jones, all of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Crystal Renee Jones of Raleigh, North Carolina, and Miss Felicia Vereen of Stone Mountain, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Thomas Allen Jones, age 73, 1506 East 16th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Thomas Allen Jones, age 73, will be held on Tuesday, November 18th at 11 a.m. in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend Isaac H. Owens, pastor of the Mount Calvary Baptist Church, will officiate. The eulogy will be delivered by his beloved son, Minister LeVar Jones. The public visitation will be on Monday, November 17th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. United States Army veteran, Minister Maxine Crumley, age 69, formerly of Buena Vista, Georgia, died Thursday, November 13th at the Premise Health Greenville Memorial Hospital in Greenville, South Carolina. Survivors include her loving and devoted children, Mr. Christopher Walker, and Mr. Willie Walton Jr. and his wife, Mrs. Sharika Walker of Greenville, South Carolina, Mr. Brandon Walton of Greenwood, South Carolina, and Mr. Travis Walton of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. 8 beloved grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, her loving sibling, Mr. Robert Crumley, and his wife, Mrs. Murtis Crumley of Buena Vista, Georgia, Mrs. Ruby Heron, and her husband, the Reverend James Heron of Westerville, Ohio, Mrs. Essie Robinson of College Park, Georgia, Mr. William Crumley of Richland, Georgia, Elder Deborah Muntz and her husband, Overseer George Muntz of Americus, Georgia, Mrs. Patsy Ford and her husband, Mr. Robert Ford of Buena Vista, Georgia, and Miss Jennifer Crumley of Noonan, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. United States Army veteran, Minister Maxine Crumley, age 69, of Greenville, South Carolina, formerly of Buena Vista, Georgia. The funeral service for United States Army veteran, Minister Maxine Crumley, age 69, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Miss Jaquise DeQuan Johnson, age 46, of 610 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia, died Friday, November 14th, at her residence in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted daughter, Miss Jacqueline Johnson of Cordele, Georgia, her beloved and devoted mother, Miss Minnie Jackson of Cordele, Georgia, her loving sibling, Miss Kalonda Jones, Miss Shalandra Johnson, Mr. Johnny Davis, Miss China Johnson, Mr. Jimmy Johnson Jr., and Miss Raven Hamilton, all of Cordele, Georgia. A host of beloved aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, many cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Miss Jaquise DeQuan Johnson, age 46, of 610 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Jaquise DeQuan Johnson, age 46, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Alex Betts, age 39, of Oak Ridge Drive, Americus, Georgia, died Friday, November 14th, in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted daughters, Miss Amaya M. Robinson Betts, Miss Paige A. Betts, and Miss Alice L. Betts. His beloved mother, Miss Marie M. Pierre, his beloved sibling, Miss Sabrina Kears, Mr. Randolph Betts, Mr. Hubert Betts, Mr. Reginald Betts, and Miss Alice Betts. A beloved aunt, Mrs. Ira Coley. A host of nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mr. Alex Betts, age 39, of Oak Ridge Drive, Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Alex Betts, age 39, will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. Miss Ella Marie Jackson, age 72, of McDonald, Georgia, died Saturday, November 15th, at the Palmetto General Hospital in Miami, Florida. Survivors include a beloved daughter, Miss Aisha Wilkerson of McDonald, Georgia. Her beloved aunts and uncles, Mrs. Caldonia Williams Johnson of Albany, Georgia, Mrs. Dorothy Williams Daniels and her husband, Mr. Buford Daniels of Miami, Florida, and Mr. O.C. Williams of DeSoto, Georgia. A host of beloved cousins to include Mrs. Ann Miller of Palmetto, Georgia, and Miss Shaquita Cooper of Conyers, Georgia. A host of other relatives and many sorrowing friends survive. Miss Ella Marie Jackson, age 72, of McDonald, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Ella Marie Jackson will be announced at a later date, pending the completion of the arrangements. The Jwwilliams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Friends, that conclude our funeral notices for this morning. And as always, we do remind each of you concerning our pre-funeral arrangements planning available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home, with packages available with a single pay, a 3-year pay, a 5-year pay, and a 10-year pay. So please stop by and talk with us concerning your pre-funeral arrangements needs available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. And also whole life insurance is available at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home.
And now for announcements. The Shady Grove CME Church Annual Family and Friends Day celebration and Veterans Day service will be observed today, Sunday, November 16th, with Sunday school beginning at 10 o'clock a.m., worship service at 11 o'clock a.m. The pastor, Brother John Thomas, will deliver the message and refreshments will be served. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. The Spring Hill Baptist Church of Tippyville, Georgia, will celebrate the 20th pastoral anniversary of its pastor, Reverend Choice Cobb Sr. today. Services will begin at 11 o'clock a.m. and the pastor, Reverend Choice Cobb, will deliver the message. At 1:30 p.m., the Piney Grove Baptist Church of Kathleen, Georgia, and Reverend Lonnie Slater will be the guests. Dinner will be served, and everyone is cordially invited to attend. Sister Mary Ann Lewis is the secretary. Deacon Choice Cobb Jr. is the chairman of deacons. Reverend Choice Cobb Sr. is the pastor. The New Poplar Spring Baptist Church will host its annual Greens and Sweet Potatoes giveaway on Saturday, November 22nd at 9 o'clock a.m. They will be in 2 locations, one in Unadilla at the PNC Bank, located at 2233 Pine Street, and in Cordele in front of BJ's Diner, located at 102 East 14th Avenue. Everyone is invited to drop by. You're also encouraged to fellowship with New Poplar Spring during their worship service each Sunday morning at 9:45 a.m. You may join them Wednesday via conference call at 6:30 a.m. for morning prayer and 7 o'clock p.m. for an hour of encouragement. The dial-in number is 253-993-3761. Pastor Teacher Johnny Dean is the pastor. The The Mount Moriah Baptist Church Family and Friends Day will be observed on Sunday, November 23rd at 11 o'clock a.m. Pastor Carlos Dixon and the New Bethel Baptist Church will be the guests. The attire is casual dress. Reverend Edward Lester is the pastor. The Good Shepherds Ministries Outreach Feeding the Homeless Crusade of Smithville will be on Thursday, November 27th, Thanksgiving Day. The program will begin at 10 o'clock a.m. The meal will begin being served at 12 o'clock noon. For more information, please call 229-929-1994. Again, that number is 229-929-1994. Prophet John Floyd is the sponsor. The Mount Zion First African Baptist Church Annual Women's Day service will be observed today, Sunday, November 16th, beginning at 11:30 a.m. Minister Fonda Thompson of the Mount Zion Baptist Church Albany will be the guest speaker. The unity color is purple, and everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Deacon Jwwilliams, Chairman of Deacons, Dr. Dan James III is the pastor. A birthday concert for Mr. Charles Cargyle Hall Sr. will be held on his birthday, November 16th, today, beginning at 3 o'clock p.m. at the Grand Theater, South Main Street, Fitzgerald, Georgia, featuring Grammy-nominated blues legend Kenny Neal. Admission to this program is free, and everyone is cordially invited to get out and fellowship during this birthday concert for Mr. C.C. Hall Sr. The New St. Stephen's Church of Cordele will celebrate the 10th pastoral anniversary of Pastor Dr. Frankie Harmon on Sunday, November 23rd at 11 o'clock a.m. Everyone has a cordial invitation to attend. Dr. Frankie Harmon is the pastor. The Zion Grove Baptist Church of Oakfield Men and Women's Day program will be observed on Sunday, November 23rd, beginning at 10 o'clock a.m. Evangelist Vernell Sims of Charity Grove Baptist Church will be the guest speaker. The unity colors are brown and burnt orange. Dinner will be served, and everyone is cordially invited to attend. Sister Gladys Alford is the secretary. Reverend Tiller Sims is the pastor. Mrs. Linda Marlin will be feeding the sick and shut-in and the homeless today. For more information, please call 229-401-8886. Again, to reach Ms. Linda Marlin, the number is 229-401-8868. 229-401-8868. The Greater Mars Tabernacle Baptist Church invites everyone to worship with them today. Sunday school begins at 9 o'clock a.m., worship service at 9:30 a.m. Mother Mary Henderson, Church Mother, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Chairman of Deacons, Dr. K.M. Williams is the pastor. The Mount Zion First African Baptist Church again invites you to worship with them today with their Women's Day worship service. Deacon Jwwilliams, Chairman of Deacons, Dr. Dan James III is the pastor. Everyone has a cordial invitation to worship at the Gethsemane Baptist Church today. Worship service begins at 10:30 a.m. Deacon Johnny Wilson, Chairman of Deacons, Brother Cecil Strawder is the pastor. You're invited to worship at the New Oak Grove Baptist Church today. Sunday school begins at 9:15 a.m., worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Deacon Alonzo Jones is the Chairman of Deacons. Reverend W.W. Wilson is the pastor. The Greater Gum Creek Baptist Church extends an invitation for you to worship with them today. Worship service begins at 10:30 a.m. Mother Norma Solomon, Church Mother, Deacon Zachary Fields, Chairman of Deacons, Reverend Joseph Hagerbrook is the pastor. You're invited to worship at the St. Paul Presbyterian Church today. Worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Elder Owita Hageman is the pastor. The beautiful Zion Baptist Church extends a cordial invitation for you to worship with them today. Worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Mother Azaline Kellogg is the church mother. Reverend Lorinda Ray is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship at the Mount Olive Baptist Church today. Sunday school begins at 9 o'clock a.m., worship service at 10 o'clock a.m. Mother Willie Mae Walker, Church Mother, Deacon Lindbergh Williams Jr., Chairman of Deacons, Bishop Jerome Milton is the pastor. The Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church extends a cordial invitation for you to worship with them today. Sunday school at 10 o'clock a.m., worship service at 11:15 a.m. Bible study is held each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Mother Willeen McGill, Church Mother, Reverend Gregory Williams is the pastor. You're cordially invited to worship at the New William Grove Baptist Church today. Worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Deacon Winfred Green, Chairman of Deacons, Mother Gradine Ford, Church Mother, Reverend Nikita Lester is the pastor. The New St. Stephen's Church extends a cordial invitation for everyone to worship with them today. Worship service begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Dr. Frankie Harmon is the pastor. Temple of Praise Church of God by Faith invites everyone to worship with them each Sunday, with Sunday school beginning at 10 o'clock a.m., morning worship at 11:15 a.m. You may join them for Wednesday on Wednesdays for Bible study at 7 o'clock p.m. For more information, please call 229-949-0144. 229-949-0144. Elder Michael Wyndham is the pastor. The Senior Ushers Ministry of the Lebanon Baptist Church of Plains, Georgia, will be celebrating the 105th Ushers Anniversary on Sunday, November 23rd, beginning at 11 o'clock a.m. during the regular worship service. Sister Belinda Roberts will speak on the duties of an usher, and the invited minister will deliver the message. Gleaner captains are Brother Clinton Jackson, Sister Annie Ruth Muff, and Brother Clarence Slappy. Everyone has a cordial invitation to come out and be a part of this celebration. All churches that wish to enroll are invited to do so by placing their representation in an envelope with their church's name on it to represent. Deacon J.C. Bryant Jr. is the president of the Ushers Ministry. Sister Dorothy Jackson is the secretary. Deacon Eric Bryant is the chairman of deacons. Also this morning, again, we'd like to remind you, as we're in the middle of our runoff season, preparing for our upcoming runoff for our municipal election, that you may begin early voting. Advanced early voting will begin on Monday, November 24th, continue through Wednesday, November 26th. Early voting will begin at 8 o'clock a.m. until 6 o'clock p.m. And absentee ballot applications must be submitted before November 21st. So if you're taking the opportunity to vote by absentee ballot, please submit your application that your ballot might be sent to you and that you may be able to get it back in time. All absentee mail-in ballots must be returned to the election office by 7 o'clock p.m. on December 2nd to be accepted and to be counted as a part of the election process. We remind you that the runoff election is going to be on December the 2nd, 2025. The polls will open at 7 o'clock a.m. and close at 7 o'clock p.m. Again, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the voters of Ward 3 who got out and exercised their vote and voted for me. I encourage you to take opportunities to early voting on November 24th, 25th, and 26th, and on election day, December the 2nd, to cast your vote once again for Isaac Owens for Commissioner for Ward 3, the City of Cordele. I need your vote. I appreciate your vote, and I welcome all the encouragement that you have shared with me along the way. So please, let's take this opportunity to get out and vote. Let's take the opportunity to get out and vote on November 24th, 25th, and 26th for our advanced voting. Remember, the polls will open at 8 o'clock a.m. on those days and close at 6 o'clock p.m. And then on election day, Tuesday, December the 2nd, polls will open at 7 o'clock a.m., close at 7 o'clock p.m. If you need a ride to the poll at any time, please give us a call at 229-322-2571. Again, I appreciate your vote. Remember, take this opportunity to vote for me, Isaac Owens, Commissioner, Ward 3, City of Cordele. I'd like to take this opportunity to also wish a very special happy wedding anniversary to my wife, Minister Kathleen Owens. We celebrated our 33rd wedding anniversary this past Friday. May God continue to bless us and keep our union strong. That concludes our announcements for this morning.
From Brother James L. Hughes and the Church of Christ at Hilltop on 15th Street here in Cordele, Georgia, will have a special food giveaway on Saturday, November 22nd from 11 a.m. until. Special announcement from Brother James L. Hughes and the Church of Christ at Hilltop on 15th Street here in Cordele. Food giveaway will be Saturday, November 22nd from 11 a.m. until. Brother James L. Hughes, pastor. And now for dedication. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following: in loving memory of Mr. Dennis Hardy, who would have celebrated his birthday November 13. Dedication requested by the Hardy family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of the Reverend N.A. and his First Lady, Mary Jackson, who would have celebrated their anniversary November 14. Dedication requested by the Jackson family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Mary Applin, better known as Jelly, who departed this life November 15, 2012, and Ms. Ferica Lewis, who departed this life November 11, 2013. Dedication requested by Mr. Frederick Lewis and the entire Applin and Lewis family, gone but not forgotten. In living memory of Mr. Harold Edwards, better known to all of us as Danny, who departed this life November 15, 2010. Dedication requested by his son, Mr. Michael Brown, and his beloved brother, Mr. Walter Edwards, and Mr. Billy Wayne Edwards, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mr. C. Hart Harmon Sr., who would have celebrated his birthday November 15, dedication requested by his beloved daughter, Mrs. Pearl Reed, the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the entire Harmon family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Thelma Pickens, who would have celebrated her birthday November 16, dedication requested by the Pickens and Mumphrey family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mrs. Ora Lee Adams, better known as Aunt T, who have departed this life, dedication requested by a beloved family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Dr. James Bolton, who departed this life November 17, 2024, dedication requested by Miss Shafonda Taylor Bolton and his beloved mother, Mrs. Carolyn Perry Bolton, and the entire Bolton family, gone but not forgotten. In loving memory of Mr. C. Hart Herman Jr., who departed this life November 18, 1978, and would have celebrated his birthday November 18, dedication requested by his beloved wife, Mother Jessie Kate Harmon, his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, his beloved sister, Mother Pearl Reed, and the entire Harmon family. Our first selection this morning is dedicated to the following. Happy birthday to Mr. Malcolm Christopher, who celebrated his birthday November 5th, dedication requested by the Lawton and Epps family. Happy birthday to Miss Kay Frances Brown of Araby, Georgia, who celebrated her birthday Tuesday, November 11th. Dedication comes from her beloved husband, Mr. Walter Brown, the children, grandchildren, and the entire Brown family. Happy birthday to Mr. Broderick Daniels of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home, who celebrated his birthday Wednesday, November 12th. Dedication comes from his children and the entire Daniels family and the staff of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. His pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, and the members of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Baptist Church, Deacon Tommy Ford, and church members. Happy birthday to Miss Shawn Hutchins, who celebrated her birthday Thursday, November 13th. Dedication requested by her mother, Mrs. Barbara Roberts, and the entire Lawton and Epps family. Happy birthday to Miss Alice Faye Green, who celebrated her birthday Friday, November 14th. Dedication comes from her children, grandchildren, and the entire Jackson family and her church family, Dr. K.M. Williams, Deacon Tommy Ford, and the members of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Baptist Church. All say happy birthday to Mrs. Alice Faye Green. Happy birthday to Miss Carol Morrell, who celebrated her birthday November 15th. Dedication requested by our husband, Mr. Kelvin Morrell, the children, grandchildren, and the entire family. And her beloved mother and father all says happy birthday to Mrs. Carol Morrell. Happy birthday to Miss Adasia Epps, who will celebrate her birthday Thursday, November 27th. Dedication requested by our beloved grandmother, Mrs. Barbara Roberts, and the entire family. Happy birthday to Mr. Derek Carter, who will celebrate his birthday Friday, November 28th. Dedication requested by the Carter, Lawton, and Epps family. Our first selection this morning goes out to the following: Brother James Leon Hughes and the members of the Church of Christ at Hilltop. Again, we'll be having a food giveaway on Saturday, November 22nd from 11 until Deacon George Jordan and family of Vienna, Georgia, son Deacon Nathaniel Jordan and family, Mother Vera Rivers and family, Mr. and Mrs. Willie James Patrick and family, Mother Willie Mae Leary and family of Hatley, Georgia, Mother Martha Ruth Westbrook and family, Deacon Arthur Pop Walker and family, Deacon Jake and Miss Mary Reese and family, DeSoto, Georgia, Miss Dessa Fuller and family, Mother Willie McGill and family, Mr. Silas and Mrs. Doretha Didell and family, Mrs. Vonnie Wright Didell and family, Deacon and Mrs. Arthur Wright and family, Miss Rashida Fields and family, Dr. and Mrs. Eddie Talbot and family, Miss Leela Westbrook and family, Mrs. Martha Mobley and family, Deacon and Mrs. Norman Fields and family, Mother Jessie Colson and family, Mrs. Deborah Dawson and family, Miss Chastity Green and family, Mr. Johnny Dawson and family, Mr. Steve Dawson and family, Mr. Lester Williams and family of Ashburn, Georgia, Mr. Artis Dawson and family, Mr. Ross Williams and family, Miss Johnny Mae Westbrook and family, the Reverend Artist and Minister LaShawn Westbrook and family, Mr. and Mrs. Mark Henderson and family, Miss Monica Westbrook and family, Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Hamilton and family, the Reverend Willie Earl Lockett and Mrs. Helen Lockett and family of Albany and Cordele, Georgia, Mr. Malcolm Mitz and family, Mother Willie Mae Walker and family of Warwick, Georgia, Mrs. Annie Peterson and family, Mr. and Mrs. Greg Peterson and family, Mr. and Mrs. Chris Wheeler and family, the Reverend and Mrs. Eddie Gant and family, Dr. Bobby and Mrs. Melba West and family, the Reverend Kenneth and Mrs. Valerie Tukes and family, Mrs. Murtis Evans and family. Our first selection this morning goes out to the Talbot family, Deacon and Mrs. John Stubbs and family, Deacon and Mrs. Donald Talbot and family. Our selection goes out to Mrs. Juanita Mathis Talbot and family. It is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. Miss Lakeisha Ford, age 42, 176 William Lake Road, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, November 10th at her residence in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Lakeisha Ford, age 46, will be held today, Sunday, November 16th at 11 a.m. graveside at the Mount Olive Baptist Church Cemetery in Warwick, Georgia. Her beloved brother, the Reverend William G. Ford, will officiate. United States Army veteran, Mr. Walter James Hollis, age 76, of 165 Lexington Circle, Americus, Georgia, died Monday, November 10th, 2025, at the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for United States Army veteran, Mr. Walter James Hollis, age 76, will be held on Monday, November 17th at 11 a.m. in the sanctuary of the St. John AME Church in Plains, Georgia. The pastor, Reverend Shirley Stroughter, will officiate. The burial with military honors will follow at the Andersonville National Cemetery in Andersonville, Georgia. The public visitation will be held today from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. Mr. Thomas Allen Jones, age 73, of 1506 East 16th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, November 3rd at the Chris Regional Hospital in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Thomas Allen Jones, age 73, will be held on Tuesday, November 18th at 11 a.m. in the chapel of the Jwwilliams Funeral Home in Cordele, Georgia. The Reverend Isaac H. Owens, pastor of the Mount Calvary Baptist Church, will officiate. The eulogy will be delivered by his beloved son, Minister LeVar Jones. The public visitation will be held on Monday, November 17th from 1 until 5 p.m. at the Jwwilliams Funeral Home. United States Army veteran Minister Maxine Crumley, age 69, formerly of Buena Vista, Georgia, died Thursday, November 13th at the Premise Health Greenville Memorial Hospital in Greenville, South Carolina. The funeral service for United States Army veteran Minister Maxine Crumley, age 69, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Miss Jaquise DeQuan Johnson, age 46, of 610 Blackshear Road, Cordele, Georgia, died Friday, November 14th at a residence in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Miss Jaquise DeQuan Johnson, age 46, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Mr. Alex Bentz, age 39, of Oak Ridge Drive, Americus, Georgia, died Friday, November 14th in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Alex Bentz, age 36, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. Miss Ella Marie Jackson, age 72, of McDonald, Georgia, died Saturday, November 15th at the Perinatal General Hospital in Miami, Florida. The funeral service for Miss Ella Marie Jackson, age 72, will be announced at a later date pending the completion of the arrangements. The Jwwilliams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna are in charge of each of these arrangements during this week. Our next and final selection for this morning is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones were laid to rest during the past week. The family of Mother Maddie Pearl Jenwright Daniels, age 98, of Araby, Georgia. The family of Mrs. Charlie Mae Holt Colson of Americus, Georgia. This selection is dedicated to the bereaved families whose loved ones will be laid to rest during this week. The family of Miss Lakeisha Ford of Cordele, Georgia. The family of United States Army veteran Mr. Walter James Hollis of Americus, Georgia. The family of Mr. Thomas Allen Jones of Cordele, Georgia. The family of United States Army veteran Minister Maxine Crumley of Greenville, South Carolina, and Buena Vista, Georgia. The family of Miss Jaquise DeQuan Johnson of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Alex Bentz of Americus, Georgia. The family of Miss Ella Marie Jackson of McDonald, Georgia, and Lee County, Georgia. This election is dedicated to all of the sick and shut-in, to all patients in the local and surrounding hospitals, nursing homes, and rehabilitation centers, to our beloved ministers and their devoted family members, to all retired educators, to the men and women serving in our armed forces, both stateside and abroad, to all veterans, and to everyone who listens to our program on each Sunday morning. It's a pleasure for us to bring it to you. Our program goes out in memory of our past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams, to my wife, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, to my son, Jai Wilkerson Parker. This election goes out to my brother, retired Chief Master Sergeant Norman F. Dexter, and his wife, Dr. Maxine Dexter, and our grandson, Noble. This election goes out to my sister, Mrs. Patsy Jackson, and her husband, Mr. Jim Jackson of Cordele, Georgia. Goes out to my nephew, Deacon Kenneth Smith, program chairman of the Greater Morris Tabernacle Baptist Church, and with us this morning presenting our program on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Goes out to our pastor, Dr. K.M. Williams, to his wife, Sister Kathy Williams, and to their entire Williams family, to their son, the Reverend Christopher Williams, pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church of Cuthbert, Georgia. This election goes out to our beloved Mrs. Easter May Sanders and Mrs. Annette Felton and Mr. George Felton and the entire family. Goes out to the Reverend Johnny Dean, pastor of the New Poplar Spring Baptist Church of Byronville, Georgia, our friend and brother, long standing. This election goes out to Deacon Jimmy Charles Mumphrey and the entire Mumphrey family, Deacon and Mrs. Sam Mumphrey and family, Deacon Edward and Sister Ethel Mumphrey, and the entire Mumphrey family. Our selection for this morning on this third Sunday in November 2025. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you've enjoyed our program. Tune in again on next Sunday morning. Remember, in your time of need, contact the competent, capable, and dependable staff at the Jwwilliams Family